Mikel Arteta and Marcus Rashford have had talks on a potential summer transfer over the past few weeks. The claim states that there is interest on both sides, but it's certainly unknown at this stage whether Manchester United would sell to Arsenal. Now, good morning or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching around the world. Hit the like buttons, make sure you are subscribing, and go check out our transfer group chat right now. Scan the QR code on the screen, go and get yourself signed up. We've known for a long time there has been interest from Arsenal in Marcus Rashford. Whether the fans of their club like him or not, Mikel Arteta, Arsenal Football Club, have been scouting, tailing, talking to the representation, of course, of Marcus Rashford on multiple occasions over the past 3 to 4 years. Before his new deal was signed, there was talk of Arsenal coming in for him. And now that there is uncertainty again over the future of Marcus Rashford at Manchester United, the talks and the conversations are beginning again. My first reaction is, am I surprised? No. I think there's a very good player in Marcus Rashford. That will be met with a challenge saying, but Terry, you've said maybe it's the right time for him to leave. I do also believe that. Sometimes a change is as good as a rest. There's a lot of problems at Manchester United. He has had issues internally and externally with the club. And sometimes it's right for all parties to move him on. However, my personal preference, that's an objective view. My personal preference is I would like him to stay, fulfill his potential. This is a man with 6 trophies, by the way, at Manchester United. No mean feat. 6 trophies, 2 FA Cups included, 2 League Cups, a European trophy within that as well. I'd love him to win 7, 8, 9, 10 and more. I'd love him to add league titles and Champions Leagues at Manchester United. We saw the tears in his eyes after lifting the FA Cup. Some people claim it's PR. I personally don't think it is. I believe that was true, genuine, heartfelt emotion. Was it because he won a trophy and ended what for him was a disappointing season on a very big high? Could it be because he knows he's kicked his last ball for his boyhood club? Let us know in the comments section below. From an Arsenal perspective, I hope Man United don't do this. As much as if United and Rashford collectively decide the best thing to do is move on, I hope it's abroad. I don't want it to be an English team. My theory is Marcus Rashford will cook, especially in a stable, wholesome, and vibrant atmosphere and culture at a club. Arsenal is that right now. He will thrive. He will thrive. He'll be dangerous. He'll be a goal scorer. He'll be half a yard quicker. A happy Rashford is faster, quicker, more potent, dangerous. And if he goes to Arsenal and he's in a good space mentally, which I think he would be, this man could help them win the title. And the pain that it would put through me to see Arsenal lift the Premier League, but with Rashford as one of their talisman, it would hurt. I know he'll cook when he leaves, when he goes elsewhere. I just hope it's a PSG, a Bayern Munich, a Barcelona, something. I don't want it to be Arsenal. But Arsenal fans, give me your thoughts and give me your feelings on that situation. Now, moving on to Chelsea, Fabrizio Romano has stated that on Enzo Maresca, it's now up to Chelsea. Decision time is coming soon, and Leicester are waiting to see what happens there before they decide on who to hire as a replacement. This story is also comes out and coincides with David Ornstein, who said that Chelsea are no longer considering Kieran McKenna as the next head coach, the 38-year-old, an early favourite, which many people reported on, admired by Chelsea, but not amongst the final candidates after conversations and interviews. Enzo and Thomas Frank, now only known options remaining. Now, what I find very interesting about both these stories is that Fabrizio, I think, may have loosely mentioned De Zerbi, as Chelsea have a liking to him. But in David Ornstein's article, there isn't a single mention of De Zerbi. Now, let me caveat and state that doesn't mean De Zerbi isn't on the list. It doesn't mean he won't become the manager. Yesterday, I spoke to a couple of journalists who said they had sources that believe it's a now-on certainty that De Zerbi becomes the Chelsea manager. And of course, like we always say when we share these stories, I'm not claiming to know the information. I'm just telling you what's being told. And our job as fans, that's what we all are, as fans, is to discuss, give opinions, and what we think and feel. But I do find it very interesting that Enzo's name by Fabrizio and Ornstein, the two tier ones that most people turn to for news, are consistently talking about those two and very little about De Zerbi. Now, Chelsea fans listening, what do you make of that? What do you make of that? Do you think there's anything in it? A lot of Chelsea fans I speak to believe that all the other talks of the McKennas and the Enzos and the Franks are all a smokescreen to kind of distract the media, to distract rivals away from their pursuit of Roberto De Zerbi. And as you all know, I don't want De Zerbi to go to Chelsea. So maybe there's even a little hopium here from me. Having said that, the journalists that I've spoken to, the people behind the scenes, not at Chelsea, journalists behind the scenes that I've spoken to, believe there's a real strong possibility that De Zerbi's going. I just find it interesting that the two biggest transfer experts in the world are not pushing that news. Of course, Ben Jacobs has said that Chelsea are expected to have a new head coach in the next 24 to 48 hours from this particular point. You've also had the likes of Jacob Steinberg, who said something a little bit different to the others. He's actually, the way he has phrased it is that McKenna has pulled out of the Chelsea race as opposed to being told no. So could that little peccadillo, could that little piece of information be significant in terms of his future? But as ever, look, Chelsea fans, I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions on these stories. A new manager is expected in the next 24 to 48 hours. Who do you believe it's going to be? The bookmakers still have De Zerbi as favorite. Some believe that's a certainty. Fabrizio Ornstein, it feels like they're angling more towards Enzo. But could this all be a smokescreen? Let me know in the comments section below. Give me your thoughts and give me your feelings. Now, sticking with McKenna, there's a report yesterday that came out that said Kieran McKenna is unfazed by the challenge of turning things around at Manchester United. He understands that there will be a pressure, there will be a burden, there will also be an element of criticism with a lot of Man United fans wanting Ten Hag to stay. We saw Mark Goldbridge yesterday, one of the biggest content creator in the world when it comes to football, stating that he'll be Ineos out if they get rid of Ten Hag. So that brings new pressure to the new manager, but McKenna still putting himself in that shop window. McKenna not committing to Brighton. As of right, I'm recording this at like 9:30 a.m. in the morning on the 27th of May. So something could change. In terms of the information that's available publicly, McKenna hasn't committed to Brighton, hasn't told Ipswich what he's doing just yet. Most reports saying Chelsea have pulled away from him. A few reports stating that he's pulled away from Chelsea. And the only reason I ask if that's significant is that if he's pulled away from Chelsea, what does that say? Does that mean he believes he's got a chance of managing Manchester United? Or is he going to commit to a club like Brighton? Or will he stay at Ipswich, who, by the way, has some really good backers financially and a fair amount of money coming in? A bigger club, by the way, than Brighton, historically, fan base-wise. There is the opportunity potentially at Ipswich, if they keep investing, to perform better than Brighton. Brighton are a very well-run football club. I've always said pound for pound, the best or one of the best in the league. But Ipswich are a much bigger institution, more fans, etc. So, look, it's going to be a real interesting one from his perspective. I've said all along, I'm going to get behind the decisions that Ineos make. If it's McKenna, again, I'm not doing cartwheels. I'm not going, oh my God, look who we've just gone and signed. But there's a part of me that is excited to see what he could do for this team, for this group, in terms of our journey moving forward. I'd love to get all your views and your opinions on these stories today. Please make sure like buttons have been hit before you leave. It's so important to us. Subscribe, and we'll catch you all again very, very soon.